Blast off. We are live. Good morning. It's Monday morning. Here we are in California at 7 a.m. We have Linda Kay with us back on the East Coast, so it's a little bit later for her. But we want to welcome you to Monday Momentum. Our whole idea every Monday morning is for those of us who work from home, who are solopreneurs, who have small businesses, we sometimes need a little kick in the rear on Mondays to get us up and running, just as if we were going to a job. So we get together every Monday to motivate each other and hopefully motivate you as well. I am Sarah Coolidge. You can see my website right down here if you want to contact me after the broadcast. We want to today spend some time with you talking about clear communication and how to get your message across. We'll spend a little bit more on that in a minute. But the main idea, as I said before, is for all of us to start out our week with some good positive direction in the right direction, because sometimes if you've got momentum going the wrong way, like you wake up Monday and you're a little bit late and you didn't get your work done and now you feel behind and you should have done all that work Friday you didn't do, so maybe you'll just roll over and get back to sleep. That's not going to get you where you want to go. So we're hoping that you'll get inspired and motivated so that you can slide into home base on Friday feeling really good about your week and that you've moved forward. So with that, I'd like to introduce my buddy, Linda Kay. Would you like to tell us a little bit about you and where you are, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Good morning. Yeah, we're at a much more civilized hour here, 10 a.m. and coming to you from New Hampshire. And it's been an interesting weekend. It warms up, gives us a little glimpse of spring, cools back down again. So, yeah.
Would you take a minute and just tell people a little bit about what you do, Linda, while I try to get James the link that we need to get to him so he can dive on in here?
Awesome. Well, what I do is I am a website strategist, designer, developer, and I really enhance the user experience, especially when visitors are coming to your website on a smartphone or mobile device. And tomorrow is deemed Mobilegeddon by Google, because you know what? Tomorrow they are going to start dropping the rankings for website searches on mobile phones that are not mobile friendly.
So what, tomorrow is what? What did you say? I think it's some kind of holiday. What's happening?
I don't know how to pronounce it. Mobilegeddon?
Geddon. Well, instead of Armageddon, it's Mobilegeddon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because you're going to see a lot of websites dropping in ranking if they are not mobile friendly. And Google starts that crawl tomorrow with the new algorithm.
Wow. So what should people do if they, number one, don't know that their site is mobile friendly or not?
Well, there is a test on Google. I can go ahead and post the link for people to test. And if they test it and they find out it's not mobile friendly, there are some things that we can do, putting up a temporary mobile friendly site or converting the entire site to mobile responsive design. And what mobile responsive design is it takes a website designed for a desktop and it allows it to resize properly to a tablet or resize properly to a smartphone. So it's basically responding to the design, and that's why they call it mobile responsive. So 2 ways to go about it. One is the little, push button, one-click access, gets you to the different mobile-friendly pages, and the other, as I said, is the responsive design, which works in conjunction, or it really is your website. It doesn't work in conjunction with it. It really is your website designed a little bit differently.
So when your website is responsive, if you look at your cell phone, you'll be able to read it all, and you won't have that microscopic print and all that problem. Okay. So would you please post that link in the chat box? I mean, I realize that's not exactly the topic we had today, but we were going to talk about clear communication, and if you can't,
we can tie that.
It can't be read on a phone. It's not very clear communication. So
absolutely correct.
So for those of you who are new to Hangouts, if you float your well, you have to be in the Hangout, I believe. I'm not sure, but if not, well, I'll just let you know. There is a little blue and white box that you can float over that allows you to be in the chat. And Linda has just joined the group chat. So she'll type that message in a minute, and then I'm going to copy it and see if I can't paste it right onto the live feed that we've got going on Google Plus, so that if anybody wants to check their website, they'll be able to do it. If not, you know, if we can't figure out all that technological stuff, I can promise you that after the Hangout, we'll get that link up for you. So do you have any idea how many websites? Is there an estimate of how many are not ready for this change?
You know, I did read about the numbers. I just don't happen to remember what they are at the moment.
Well, I know you're busy. Is it a large number?
I just posted the site right there, and it's really cool. So Google just tells you whether they think your site is mobile friendly or not.
So basically, you would go to that link and then put in your website or something, and then it says nope or yes.
And just within seconds, you'll know whether it's going to be a problem for you or not.
Wow. So large numbers, small numbers?
There are a lot of websites that are not, and that's going to be good for those sites that are, because it's going to help them rank a little bit higher on mobile devices.
So you might not want to spread this word around if you're responsive and you think your competition is not. Is there a timeline? For instance, if you had your site built before 2002, no, probably 2012, let's say, would it be pretty much guaranteed that you're not responsive, or is there any way to?
Yeah, responsive design has only been popular, say, the last 4 years, maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay, so if your site is 2 or 3 years old, you're out of date anyway. We know that, but now you're in danger. So that's a good sort of guideline. Are people that are building sites now automatically making them all responsive, or is that still up to the?
No, one would think that, but I belong to a group, and there was a web developer in there before me, and she just converted the site because she was there first. You know, she got first dibs at it. And I wasn't there the particular night they unveiled it. One of my clients was, and he goes, "Oh, it's not mobile responsive." And the developer went, "What do you mean?" And my client had to educate her.
Oh boy.
So there's a lot of developers, designers out there that are still not building mobile responsive designs.
Well, a little interesting side note. Thank you, Linda. So that's happening tomorrow. And
it does tie exactly to clear communication. It's starting tomorrow. It'll take Google maybe a couple of days to complete all of everything that they need to do. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. Searches will still happen on mobile, on desktop devices. And what we can do is we can convert that for you as soon as possible and submit it into Google so they know about it sooner than later.
Okay. So the key there then is for anyone that happens to be watching that is worried about their website, they can go to this link, and we'll post it again later for you on the live Google, whatever it's called, G+ timeline, if you can't see it now. But then contact Linda if your site's not responsive and you want to find somebody to help you get it fixed. Linda K at lindak.com. Cool. Well, a whole little advertisement we weren't planning on today.
I'm not seeing where it's posted, Sarah.
Okay. So what we did want to talk today about is the importance of clear communication. And both Linda and I and many of our regular guests, like James McFadden, who I know is struggling trying to get into this right now, and Julia Flinwary, Brenda Graham, people that we've been talking with over the last year on our Monday Momentum, we have all graduated from a program called CEO Space. And CEO Space is an organization which helps businesses grow. And one of the things that we spend a heck of a lot of time on CEO Space is language. And I think Linda will shake her head yes, up and down, that we have seen over and over again, the results go way up when somebody clarifies their language. And the demonstration that we often have, we get together in large groups and we do something similar to an elevator pitch. And someone might get up and say, you know, my name is Sarah Coolidge, and you know, I'm just so excited to tell you that there's a problem with water purification, and we figured it out. And you know, water is really important, and everybody needs to drink it. And in some places they don't have enough, and just kind of go on and on and on and on. And there may be a few people that are interested in what I'm saying, but most are sort of rolling their eyes and tuning out and not being able to figure out what the heck it is that I need or want or why I'm saying all this. And we work a lot on getting a really clear, concise, focused message down to, you know, my name is Sarah Coolidge, and I'm looking for somebody to help me with water filtration in the Los Angeles area, specifically in the Department of Utilities. Does anyone know anyone that works there? Much more specific and clear, so that someone could say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. Now I understand what you're looking for, and I can't help you, or I can. So that was the goal today, was sort of to make sure that you all know, because we can't really practice together so much, though Linda and I can. If you just say to people at a networking event, your name, and I'm in real estate, and I'm looking for people that are selling houses, you may not get very far, because pretty much every real estate agent could say that. And I don't know how often people sell houses, unless it's your main deal. I've sold one house in my life. So, you know, the giant increase in business that you're hoping for, you can't necessarily achieve by saying something so general and so broad. If you can learn what makes you different as a real estate agent, what do you specialize in, what is it that your customers really go crazy over with you because you're so good at it, you may find a way to ask for what you're looking for that is much clearer and can help the person listening really figure out how to help you best. So I know Linda was going to look at some stuff that she saw online last week. I don't know if she had a chance. There she's making a face.
No, I mean, part of the accountability.
Oh,
That's so through the cracks.
So no, you weren't able to?
You know, I did look at it last week after we spoke, and I am so sorry that I did not follow up on that. But I can give one example. So I was at a networking meeting the other night. You know, funny that there's a lot of other website designer developers out there, and I'm in this meeting, and she went first, and she said, I'm a website designer and developer. Okay. So it got to my turn, and I said, I enhance the website visitor's experience. And I do that through, you know, mobile-friendly, responsive design, quick loading, and easy to navigate websites. So to me, that was a lot more clear about what differentiates me from every other web developer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important that we do that.
I agree. And, you know, I was just thinking while you were talking about how we started this hangout, which was the Google-geddon. Is it Google? I forgot. The Armageddon that's starting tomorrow, whatever it was. You know, that would be a great way if you were networking, you know, today, obviously, if you had been doing it over the last few weeks with that same group where you felt that it was appropriate to talk about your website development. I mean, number one, when you're in a networking event of any kind, which basically is 24 hours a day, though I suppose you're not networking when you're sleeping, but you know, that's a whole nother topic. But I believe, you know, you're networking when you're at a soccer game, you're networking when you're at the grocery store, you're networking when you're at a party. It's a different kind of networking, obviously, but it's not like, oh, okay, I'm in work mode, and this is when I network. And when I'm in social mode, I don't. That's crazy, because, you know, in social mode, you actually are more relaxed and you're making friends. And those people are probably much more likely to be responsive and warm because, you know, they're buddies of yours. And you have to take a different tact. And that's where this all began. When you are networking, you look at what is the event I'm going to? What is it I'm trying to get out of it? Who are these people likely to be? Is there anyone there that I know I want to meet? And what do I want to say to them? So at a event over the last month, Linda, you could have said something along the lines of, did you know that, what is it, Google-geddon? What is it called?
Mobile.
Mobile-geddon? Did you know that Mobile-geddon is coming? And if your website's not responsive, you're going to drop in the rankings. I can help you with that. I'm offering a free 10-minute, evaluation of your site to let you know if you need that or not. And if you're interested, please give me your card. So, that could have been one too. But it's very specific. It gives them something that they might not have known, which is very different from the woman who said, I design websites, or whatever she said. And it's in a language that people like me who don't know how to build websites and just learned what responsive meant about a month ago can understand. And so that's, the clarity of it, that did you know that 60%, at least that's what I heard 2 weeks ago, it might be up now, 60% of all searches, of all internet action is happening on this now.
Absolutely.
And on your computer. So if your website is not friendly you're going to miss out on everything. And on top of that, now it's Google-geddon, Mobile-geddon, and now you're going to drop in the rankings on top of it. So, those are things that are clear, and we've added, of course, the call to action. If you know anybody that would like this, or if you are, please give me your card. You always want that in there, because they won't act if they don't know what you want. They'll just listen and say, well, that's interesting. But most people need to have a clear direction of what to do next. And that is, give me your card if you're interested in this, because then I can help you. So I love your example, and it ties in perfectly with what we were talking about earlier.
It's interesting that you mentioned that. To me, when you started out with, Mobile-geddon is happening type thing, it's a scare tactic. And I don't particularly care for when people do that and they sensationalize. I did a couple weeks back start, my snap basically with, on April 21st, Google rankings are changing. And I went in a little bit to what's actually happening. But as far as scaring people, I'm not sure I like incorporating that in my snap.
So is there a difference between scaring people and giving them information that they might not already have and inspiring them to act?
It may or may not have the same impact. But personally, I think if someone approached me and I wasn't in the field with the Mobile-geddon, the end of the world and all this other stuff, I would probably not do business with that person. I'd say, thank you for that information. Go off and research it and find someone that I could relate to.
So it doesn't work well for you, which is another really important, if you're out networking or living on the planet, you don't want to be walking around being inauthentic. So how would you, Linda, take that piece of information and use it in an elevator pitch or an introduction in a networking if you didn't want to scare them? Because I think you agree, it's pretty motivating for many people. They're interested in being high on the ranks and the search engines, and they may not know, they just plain may not know anything about responsive versus non-responsive, or how much people are actually using this now, the phone, smartphones or tablets, instead of their computers. So how can you use that information and not be scary?
Well, Sarah, if I had actually followed up on that accountability and done my research, I'd be able to put my hands on my little cheat sheet see me card where I composed just one of those snaps or elevator pitches. It's not on the surface of my desk at the moment, though.
So, there is nothing. What is it that makes that scary? Because to be honest, I didn't feel like it was scary.
You don't think Mobile-geddon is scary?
Well, I don't think you need to use that.
Your website, Google. Well, you know what? It's not the end, because people that are doing desktop searches are still going to be able to find your website. Yes, 40% of the people, but people will still be able to find it. And I think it's important to know that Google recognizes that not everyone is meeting this April 21st deadline, and that they are going to constantly have to go back, and they are going to have to keep re-indexing sites and getting those that have recently converted onto the search results. And, you know, it makes a lot of sense, and I've been touting that for the last 3 years. That's why I joined CEO Space, was to get mobile-friendly websites in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it is clear, it is concise, and if I have to strain my eyes and pinch and zoom to read your website, it is not a good experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a good experience, and again, I think that you could use it because people don't know, and without being scary, if you were able to say, you know, all that stuff about, you know, more people are using this than used to use it. So if you're not mobile friendly, there's a chance you're missing some of the, and if you want to reach as many people as you can, getting responsive with your website is a really good idea. And on top of that, there's some changes that are happening with Google right now that could also impact how easy you are to find if you're not mobile friendly. And if you would like to learn more about that, please, you know, give me a card. Again, I don't feel like that's scary saying that way. If you're running around saying it's mobile-geddon, which, you know, neither one of us was doing, that's the word that Google's chosen. Let them choose it, you know, and they can do whatever they want. We all know that. But
you're absolutely right. It's not scary when it's phrased the right way. And I have listened to some people at networking events that start off with these, you know, shocking, attention-getting headlines, and then it kind of backfires sometimes because you're lost in the rest of the message. You know, your mind is spinning on, wow, is that really happening? And, you know, is that so important that I don't even hear who you are and how you can help me solve that problem?
So there's a danger, I think, is what you're saying. If you present your opportunity or yourself as someone that's got an answer to a problem that is a frightening one, you have to be careful about how you present it and the audience that you're presenting it to. And that makes sense. And I would add on to that, that part of the clarity piece is not just what you're saying, but saying it in a way that everyone can hear you, or as many people as possible. And that's something that one of our favorite teachers, or mine anyway, Bill Sturley, talks about a lot, is the way that we tune out is because someone is talking to us in their language, which may be somebody that, for instance, really understands numbers and thinks very sort of orderly. And someone like me is sort of all into the feeling and wants to understand what this person is caring about and is into relation. And so we have a different language going on. And if they can't give me a little bit of warmth and human connection, I'm going to tune out. And vice versa. I mean, I know that this just happened to me last week. I have someone that I work with that I dearly love, but if he gets talking for more than about 5 minutes, I just am like straining to stay connected to him because of his language choices. So, you know, in your message, and we talk about this a lot at the networking meetings that I'm running here in my neck of the woods, make sure, if you can, to get some numbers in there, but not have it be all numbers, to get some process in there, first, second, third, to get some kind of overall vision in there of a bigger picture, and get some human feeling in there, because that will address all the 4 different learning styles and will help you to keep your audience connected to you so that they can hear you. And, you know, I think that the human piece, what you're talking about, when people get so frightened, they can't even hear you anymore. They've gone off and they're thinking about other things. Well, if they're thinking about other things, they're not listening to you. So that's where that comes in, I think.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned 2 different angles of this. You mentioned how you like things that are more personal, more human. other people, like, give me the facts and the numbers. The other two sides are where I fall in. I want to know the bottom line, and I also want to know the creative side and how it flows. Because, anytime we're giving our message, Bill points out that we're really only talking to probably 25% of the people. We tend to do our elevator pitches or whatnot in a manner that would relate to us.
Yeah.
And we are not considering the three other types of personalities that are out there. And in some ways, that may be a good thing if you only want to work with people who are similar to you. But if you are in a profession where you cater to all types of people from all different backgrounds, it's really important that that communication cover those 4 different aspects. Give me the numbers for those people that need to know the numbers. Get straight to the bottom line for those people who just need to see what the end goal is first before they can make a decision. Talk to me, give me the warm fuzzies because I'm a people-to-people person. Or, show me the big picture, show me the ideas, show me where this is going to go. So when we do our pitches, I think it is really important to keep those 4 aspects in mind.
Yeah, yeah. So again, if you are out networking, not you, Linda, but you, the audience, so you're encouraged to join in as well, and you're not getting good results, which might mean not getting good results as people don't seem to get you and don't want to follow up with you, to meet, to have coffee, to give you their cards, then these are the things that you might be thinking about. Are you clear? And you may not know yourself. I mean, I've certainly run into people where I say, well, what do you need next? And they look at me like, huh? They've never had anyone ask them that, and they don't really know. Their standard fallback answer will be, I need customers, I need money. And those are both things that pretty much all of us would be happy to have more of, and are not good answers, because why would I give you my money versus you or you or you or you? There has to be something more besides that. That may be the goal that you're working towards, is to build your customer base or to increase your revenues. But what do you need to be able to get there? What is the next thing really for you? And what is it specifically, so that I can think about, am I that person? Or do I know somebody that is? Or do I have an idea that might help you get to where you say you're wanting to go? And so that is, one thing I would encourage you to do when you're out networking, to think about, how are you presenting yourself as unique? What is it that you've got that's different? And can you bring it down and not be, forgive me, desperate? Because many times people are like, I'll take everybody, I need everything. And that just turns people off. If you're in a room of 20 people that are networking for some reason, they're all together, they've gotten together to network, and if your goal is, I'm going to get every one of these 20 people, then everybody in the room is going to know it. They're going to be able to sense that that's your attitude, and they're going to be turned off. But if your goal is, okay, there's probably 1 or 2 people in here that could really be able to hear what it is I'm looking for and be helpful to me. And my goal is to make sure that I talk to everyone so I can find those 1 or 2, but not to shove my whatever it is down their throat, thrust my card into their face, but to talk to them specifically about what I need. And, obviously the whole other piece of it, which is another, it is, how can I help you? But that's the second piece, it's the most important in my mind, but that's not our topic today. So getting clear and then relaxing a little bit, I think, is really the best way to approach all of that, with your goals ahead of time. What do I want to get out of this meeting? So we're right down to 7:29, which means it's 10:29 where you are, Linda. And we're getting ready to close out. I want to thank you all for watching today, and I'll have Linda close out and then pass it over to me, and I'll double close it out.
All right. Well, lindak.com. optimizeformobile.com. That's the number 4, mobile.com. And just because you missed the deadline doesn't mean that, it is the end of the world, that it is mobile get on, or however you pronounce it. And I can help you convert that website and create a better user visitor experience for you and your website.
Great. Thank you, Linda. So I'm Sarah Coolidge. You can find me right here at ceospacewest.com. At CEO Space, what we do is help you take your business from where it is right now to where you want it to be. We help you close that gap faster and more efficiently, save you money. So if you're interested in that, if you have a business that you want to move forward in a big way, please check it out. And then again, we're here every Monday morning to give you momentum so that your week rocks. You can like us on YouTube, Sarah Coolidge. There's plenty more Monday Momentum videos for you to watch. And I want to thank you again for joining us today. We'll see you next Monday. Bye.
Bye.